with some tough losses in there at Leavenworth, at Rockhurst, Wichita Heights. So a formidable schedule and should be a good ball game here tonight. First semifinal went to the Blue Springs South Jaguars 55-43 over Columbia Hickman. So the Jaguars await Friday night for the championship of the Culver Classic. And here we go with semifinal number 2. Tip tapped around, and the Cardinals will start with J.C. Johnson running the point, guarded by Austin Panko. Tyson on the wing, guarded closely by Jackson. Tipped into the backcourt now. J.C. Johnson will restart. Quick move by the little point guard. Off the mark though, and rebounded by Brown. Pump fake, and now baseline, the younger Harrison. We'll see big production likely from both Shaquille and younger brother Monte Harrison. This is Panko, the senior guard. Now Shaquille Harrison, the leading scorer, the senior. Jackson, left-hand dribble into the paint, to the glass and in. First bucket of the night goes to Nathan Jackson. Titans 2, Cardinals nothing. Coming up on 7 minutes to play, just 1 minute here into the first quarter. Tyson has been given the left hand there, open on the baseline. Tapped off the glass and no good. Up and in for the second time. That one goes to Kevin Thompson on the second putback attempt. Obvious from that defensive strategy there that Nathan Jackson is going to give Diego Tyson the left hand. And now Jackson the other way with a pure-looking jump shot, knocks it down. Nathan Jackson, 5 quick points out of the gate, 5-2. Lee Summit West on top. Very clean-looking jump shot there from Jackson. Now in the paint, J.C. Johnson off balance, rebounded by Dale Brown. Into the front court quickly. Jackson back to Harrison, and he's called for a walk. So Shaquille Harrison with a quick pump fake decided to try and get in the paint, but got called for shuffling his feet, and the turnover gives it back to the Cardinals. Just about 2 minutes into the first quarter, 5-2, Lee Summit West with the early lead. Panko picking up Johnson tight in the backcourt, and now backs off just a bit. Nice pass, laid up and in by Justin Chigbagu. Nice feed by Earl Peterson, slinging that pass to the big fella, and it's 5-4. Titans on top early. Brown left alone for a moment. Controls, brings it down, and lays it in. Dale Brown makes it 7-4. Lee Summit West with the lead. Dangerous pass, Tyson in the corner though, off the screen now. Into the paint, Tyson tried to throw it up with the left hand. And that's going to be a foul called on the Cardinals. Thought it might be against Brown, but it's a push against Chigbagu. First foul of the night for either team. And so back to the Titans, 5:14 to play here in the opening quarter. This is Harrison. Now handing it off. Jackson back to Harrison, left wing, gets a screen from his younger brother. Now Jackson will try his second three, kind of fading away and too strong on that. Now Tyson up into the front court. Now he gets it back. Knifing through the paint, left-hand lay-in, no good. And another over-the-back call. I believe this one going to go against Chigbagu again. So Justin Chigbagu, the senior, is likely going to have to take an early seat after getting 2 fouls here in just over 3 minutes of the first quarter. Ryan McDowell takes his place. So 2 quick fouls on the big senior. And it's back to the Titans. 4:40 to play in the opening quarter, 7-4. Almost a turnover there, but Panko was there on the bailout. A little bump as he drove into the paint. And to the free throw line, Austin Panko. Foul goes against Kevin Thompson. Third team foul on the Cardinals. Panko, the 6-foot senior, now eight to 4 our score here in the early goings. Lee Summit West looking to continue this undefeated stretch to start the season. 14-0 coming into tonight. Back iron on the free throw, no good. Panko almost poked it away from Tyson off of the rebound. But now in the hands of J.C. Johnson. Peterson on the wing, guarded by Monte Harrison. Now some space to the left. He floats in, but comes up short, and Brown with another rebound for the Titans. We're near the halfway point of the first quarter. 8-4, Lee Summit West on top. Swing to Panko, gets to the baseline. Little leaner, rattles out. Around and out, that's going to be a foul on Dale Brown. So first foul against the Titans, who as the top seed in this tournament are wearing the home white jerseys. The Cardinals in red. Winner will take on Blue Spring South Friday night. The Jaguars a 55-43 winner in our first semifinal over Columbia Hickman. So the Cupies of Hickman High School locked into the third place game. That taking place 7 o'clock approximately here Friday. Thompson unhappy that there was no foul called there, and the other way, it ends with an open jump shot from Monte Harrison, but long on that. Rebound pulled down, and now the shot wildly missed by Harrison. Now hitting the deck, Trevor Gregory. A little out of control here are the Titans. Harrison now spinning. Jackson, another shot at a three. Back iron, no good. But Harrison taps the rebound out to himself, and the Titans will reset. 3:15 to play in the opening quarter, 8-4. Some space there for Monte Harrison, off the glass and in. Harrison looked like his foot may have got stepped on as he made his initial move, kind of tripping into the paint, and off balance knocked it off the glass. Foul went against Ryan McDowell. Tyrone Gibbs, the freshman, makes his first appearance for the Cardinals. Kendall Powell checking in for the first time for the Titans. So no good on the free throw, but a 6-point lead here in the early goings for Lee Summit West. 10-4 our score. Johnson gets around his man, poked from behind. That's going to be a foul on Darren Session, who's in for the first time. So 2 team fouls on the Titans. Baseline inbound triggered by J.C. Johnson. 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. 10-4 is our score. Peterson will hand off to Johnson to restart the offense. Some contact there. McDowell had it knocked away, and now the other way comes Lee Summit. Powell to Harrison, who steps in and will take the mid-range jumper. Too strong. Monte Harrison with the strong offensive rebound, but misses the putback. Now to the deck goes Tyrone Gibbs. And an emphatic timeout call from the referee. So the Cardinals save possession with a 30-second timeout, trailing by 6. Tonight's broadcast on 810varsity.com brought to you by A&B CarStar. Collision or repair, A&B CarStar has locations throughout the Kansas City metro area. Check us out online for the closest location to you at carstar.com or call the Riverside location for more information, 816-741-6966. A&B CarStar, proud to be the title sponsor of 810varsity.com and sponsor high school sports year-round throughout the metro area. So resetting here after the timeout, 2:31 to play in the opening quarter, 10-4, Lee Summit West on top. And it's Cardinals basketball. McDowell to Rodney Hill, who has checked in for the first time. Senior guard Hill, guarded by Session. Gets around him. Inside, block called, and the basket goes down. Rodney Hill making an immediate impact foul going against Trevor Gregory, who looked like he may have gotten in position but was leaning and falling back, kind of anticipating the contact. So Hill, to try and complete the three-point play, cuts the lead in half. It's now 10-7 with 2:15 to play here in the opening quarter. The Titans, number 1 in the A10varsity.com top 25. Powell, 3, misses badly, and rebounded by the Cardinals. Earl Peterson. There's Powell with the save behind his back on the steal. Harrison, however, can't save it on the far sideline, so it'll go back to the Cardinals. Good defensive effort by both Powell and Harrison. As Monty Harrison crashed into the front row of bleachers just beyond half court. It's back to the Cardinals, 1:55 to play here in the opening quarter. Swings it over to Robbie Jarrett, who's in for the first time. Now double teamed. Gets it over. A difficult swing pass, tapped over to Peterson now, who slings it inside underneath, and a bucket by Robbie Jarrett. Don't know what was better there, the pass or the finish, as Jarrett had to spin upon catching it and lay it in off the glass. And the Cardinals have the Lee Summit West lead down to 1 as we approach a minute to play in the first quarter. Good ball movement here by the Titans, and it's knocked away by Peterson. Peterson into the front court, challenged, but he lays it up and in. Good body control by the big fella. So Peterson, the steal, the bucket, and the Cardinals with their first lead of the night, 11-10. A 7-0 run out of that timeout. And now momentum on the side of the Cardinals with under a minute to play in the opening quarter. Ganadin jumper, no good. Rebounded by Rodney Hill. So the second unit here primarily for the Cardinals making a big impact. And it's Hill controlling the ball here. 35 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Cardinals with an 11-10 lead. Roberts pulls up. Gets the roll. Harold Roberts. It's a 9-0 run now for the Cardinals. Under 20 to play in the first quarter. Raytown South 13, Lee Summit West 10. And for what looks like the final possession of the first quarter. Not much movement here. Session swings it. Harrison, Powell, 2 seconds. Kendall Powell to a stop. Leaner gets it to go at the buzzer. Kendall Powell with the basket as time expires. And after the first quarter, it is Raytown South 13, Lee Summit West 12. You're watching the Culver's Classic Shootout on A10varsity.com. Getting ready for the start of the second quarter. Second semifinal here at the Culver's Classic Shootout at Lee Summit High School. 13-12, Raytown South with the lead over Lee Summit West. The Titans led by as many as 6 in the first quarter, 10-4, but a 9-0 run put the Cardinals on top. And it's Titans basketball here as we start the second quarter. in the corner. Jackson has it knocked away. I'll correct myself. From the first quarter, I credited a Harold Roberts basket to number 14 of the Lee Summit West Titans, Robbie Jarrett. So 4 points for Harold Roberts. Titans looking to regain the lead. Jackson, who had 5 early points out of the gate, missed a couple of shots from long range later in the quarter. A zone look now to start the second quarter for Raytown South. Harrison knifing through the paint. Can't get the bucket, but he's fouled as he dove to his right. Foul goes against Tyrone Gibbs as Harrison misses the first free throw. And misses both. Rebound pulled down by Tyrone Gibbs. And so it remains a 1-point Cardinals lead as Rodney Hill triggers the offense yet again. He provided a spark coming off the bench about midway through the first quarter. Now a steal. Panko into the front court. Contested by Peterson, who fouls, and Panko gets the bucket. Austin Panko challenged at the rim but finished, and will have a chance for a 3-point play. So Titans back on top by a point. And Panko looking to add one more to that. Free throw for Panko, no good. And 14-13 remains our score. Titans on top. A whistle from the official and a travel called on Tyrone Gibbs as he made his move into the paint. So back over to the Titans on the turnover. It's Jackson, Panko, Harrison, and Brown. That's the original starting 5 for Lee Summit West. Panko in the corner to Brown. Harrison knifing through the zone, leaves it to his younger brother, who leaves his three-pointer short, but Shaquille Harrison with the rebound. Back to Monte Harrison, who swings it cross court, and it ends up back in the hands of Austin Panko. Minute and a half into the second quarter, 14-13, Lee Summit West on top. Jackson passed up on the open look there. Patient in the half-court set. Now swing back into the corner. Jackson, Harrison, post. Brown with a quick move over his left shoulder, and Dale Brown has his second basket of the game, and it's 16-13, Titans on top. Off-balance shot up and in. Rodney Hill with 5 off the bench. Pulls the Cardinals back within a point, 16-15. Tough move in traffic for Panko, who draws a foul, and will head back to the free throw line. Foul goes against Elijah Lamb, his first foul, and the 7th against the Cardinals. So for the last 5:52 of the first quarter, first half rather, the Titans will head to the free throw line with every foul. Panko's first free throw goes around and in. Tyson back in to replace Roberts. And one more for Panko, who now has 5 points. Robbie Jarrett checking in for the first time to replace Nathan Jackson. And some full court pressure shown, and now backing off. Tyson working hard off of the screen, now has it on the left wing, guarded by the bigger Brown. Nearly knocked away by Panko again, who's out near the timeline guarding Peterson. Man on the deck leads to an open jumper for Tyson, who knocks it down. Diego Tyson, first basket of the game. And his three-pointer ties it at 18 with 5:20 to play in the first half. Harrison thought about a three. So did Panko, but now back to Shaquille Harrison. Harrison now wants to drive, leaves it for Panko. Brown, open on the low post, turns, bangs, and he's fouled. Dale Brown will head to the free throw line for two. That foul going against Kevin Thompson, who now has two. So 8 team fouls on the Cardinals. As Brown swishes the first free throw, he has 5 points. McDowell replacing Thompson for the Cardinals, as Brown is perfect from the free throw line. 6 points for the big fella. And Titans back on top by a pair. Panko working hard to keep Rodney Hill in front of him. Tyson, who just knocked down a three, guarded by Jarrett. Spinning into the paint. Nice move by Tyson, but he left it just short. Almost got it back off the rebound. Now he does as he goes to the deck, and it's going to be a foul called on Robbie Jarrett. Tyson worked hard to get that ball back. So the foul on Jarrett as we head to a timeout, with the Titans on top 20-18. Timeout charged to the Cardinals. Tonight's broadcast of the Culver's Classic Shootout brought to you by Christian Brothers Roofing. If you're going to trust the roof over your head, you need to trust your roofing company. With Christian Brothers Roofing Company, you get years of experience and integrity. Don't wait until you know there's a problem. Contact us for a complimentary 16-point roof and gutter inspection at Christian Brothers Roofing, 816-453-ROOF or at 453roof.com. Follow live brackets and watch games online at 810varsity.com. The new home for Kansas City High School sports. If you like 810 Varsity now, buckle your seatbelts as a new redesign is set to launch in a few weeks. Team and league pages, full sport coverage from football to soccer to wrestling, and of course no one brings more games live online than 810varsity.com. Over 250 broadcasts this school year, live or archive. Watch the games online at 810varsity.com. Out of the timeout, Lee Summit West 2-point lead, 20-18. It'll be Cardinals basketball. 4:41 to play in an entertaining opening half here. The Titans have led by as many as 6, but a 9-0 run in the first quarter put the Cardinals on top. We've had a couple of lean changes, 2 ties. A trap coming out of the timeout as Jarrett takes it away and lays it in. Good job by Robbie Jarrett to keep his balance there, as Hill closed to contest on that layup. So Jarrett with the steal and the bucket, and the lead is back to 4 for Lee Summit West. Jarrett, Harrison, Gregory, and Panko on the floor, and now another steal for the Titans as Jarrett ends up with the ball. Foul's going to be called against Diego Tyson. So again, they are in the bonus. So Jarrett, who has made an impact defensively upon checking into the game just a few minutes ago, will go to the free throw line for 1 in the bonus. Back iron, no good, but Gregory with the strong rebound. Lowers his shoulder, but can't get the putback. Now Harrison loses control, and Rodney Hill will hand it off to Peterson for the Cardinals. Halfway through the second quarter, Lee Summit West 22, Raytown South 18. Here in this second semifinal at the Culver's Classic Shootout here from Lee Summit High School. Blocked away by Shaquille Harrison. Peterson tried to get around him to the right, but the lanky senior Shaquille Harrison swatted it into the cheerleaders. Jarrett checking out. Powell back in for Lee Summit West. 3:51 to play here in the opening half. Winner to take on Blue Springs South Friday night for the tournament championship. Peterson guarded by Harrison, and now back in the hands of Peterson. Tried to poke it away from behind did Shaquille Harrison, and that will be his first foul. So it's Tyson, Peterson, Lamb, Hill, and Ryan McDowell for the Cardinals. The Harrison brothers, Gregory, Panko, and Powell on the floor for the Titans, who lead by 4 with just under 3.5 to play here in the first half. Peterson guarded by Monte Harrison, waiting for some movement. Instead, he's going to do it all himself, and he has it swatted again by Shaquille Harrison, who saves it inbound. Now Panko looking to push it up the court. Monte Harrison in the corner, passes on the jump shot, instead swings it to his brother. Shaquille Harrison, left-handed dribble, pulls up from the elbow, rattles out, no good, and rebounded by Ryan McDowell. So Harrison still scoreless, and the lead still at 4 for the Titans. Hill guarded by Panko. Now McDowell, dangerous pass, Panko tips it away. Panko into the front court, goes right to the rim, lays it up, and it's an offensive foul on Panko, who slams his hand to the hardwood in frustration. Great job getting back. I believe that was McDowell who got back in position to draw the offensive foul. Panko had Harrison to his left. Spacing wasn't great, but looked like there was an opportunity to bounce it off to Shaquille Harrison. Instead, tried to do it himself, and the result is an offensive foul. So the turnover did not lead to points there. Hill hits the deck. And Coach Brad Ostrich wants to talk about that after almost another turnover in the backcourt. So this the final game of night number 2 here at the Culver's Classic Shootout. Consolation bracket, the 2 early games with Ruskin beating O'Hara 47-43. Lee Summit North over Lee Summit 70-60. So it'll be Lee Summit North against Ruskin Friday for 5th place. Lee Summit versus O'Hara for 7th place. And semifinal number 1 earlier tonight, Blue Springs South with a 55-43 win over Hickman. So the Jaguars await the winner of this game in the championship, while Hickman awaits the loser for 3rd place. So back to action with 2:30 to play in the first half. Lee Summit West 22, Raytown South 18. Largest lead for the Titans has been 6. Largest lead for the Cardinals has been 3. Another ball tipped away. We've seen a lot of that in the first 2 games here tonight, in the 2 semifinal games rather. Some active hands defensively. This one will stay with the Cardinals. Peterson inbounding into the backcourt. Rodney Hill to get things started. Hill with 5 points off the bench to lead the Cardinals. Lamb, backdoor, Tyson off balance, lays it in, and he'll go to the line. Diego Tyson, the baseline drive and finish. He's got 5. Foul is number 2 against Trevor Gregory, and the 7th foul against the Titans. Jackson checking back in now, and Dale Brown rushes to the scorer's table to do the same. So both teams now in the bonus for the last 2:11 of the first half. Diego Tyson to the line to try and cut this to a 1-point game. Tyson, all 6 of his points coming in the second quarter. He is tied for the lead in scoring tonight. Dale Brown with 6 for the Titans. Back to a zone now for the Cardinals, who trail 22-21 as we go under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Panko to Powell. Back to Panko. Jackson hit one from there earlier. Has a second one. Nathan Jackson now with 8 points to lead all scorers after his second 3-pointer of the night. Quickly the other way. Peterson can't get his layup to go down. The putback no good. Tipped again, up and in. Credit that one to Elijah Lamb. So a couple of tip attempts there. And it's back to 2 points, 25-23. Lee Summit West on top. Harrison thought about the 3, instead back out to Kendall Powell. 1:20 to play in the first half, 25-23. Jackson wants another 3, misses this one, and it's rebounded by Ryan McDowell. Closing in on a minute to play in the first half. Hill quickly into the front court. Now Tyson. 1 minute to play in the first half, 25-23. Tyson, pull-up jumper, felt it, nailed it. Diego Tyson. 8 points all in this quarter, and he's tied the game up at 25 as we have 45 seconds to play now in the first half. Titans looking to take some time now. Jackson, Powell, Harrison, Panko, and Brown for Lee Summit West. This is Powell, top of the circle, on Hill. Dishes out to Harrison. Panko in the corner. Under 30 seconds to play in the half now. Tie ball game between Lee Summit West and Raytown South. Now resetting the offense as we go under 20 seconds, as the Titans now clearly looking to play for the final shot. 10 seconds now into the hands of Powell. 8 seconds. Panko back to Powell. Dribbles into the paint. Jump stop. Floater off the rim. No good. Rebounded by Lamb, and now a foul. And with 2.9 seconds to play, Powell's foul will send the Cardinals to the line with a chance to take the lead in the final seconds of the half. So Lamb, who just got his first bucket of the night a minute ago, will have a chance to put the Cardinals back on top. And the free throw by the senior Elijah Lamb gives the Cardinals the 26-25 lead. One more free throw coming for Elijah Lamb. 6'5" senior is good on the second as well. J.C. Johnson, who started at point guard, but we've seen mostly Rodney Hill since, now back in the game. Final 3 seconds. Shaquille Harrison will have a couple of dribbles. He throws it up from beyond half court and off of the basket support. So good push near the end of the half for the Cardinals, who have regained the lead. It's the Cardinals 27, the Lee Summit West Titans 25. We'll be back for the second half after a short break. You're watching the 37th annual Culver Classic Shootout on 810varsity.com. back at Lee Summit High School. We are just about ready for the start of the second half with the score 27-25. Raytown South on top. They trailed by as many as 6 in the first quarter. However, they've battled back to take the lead, courtesy of a balanced effort that's been led by Diego Tyson, junior guard, who has 8 points. 3 other scorers with at least 4. For the Titans, it is Nathan Jackson with 8, Dale Brown with 6, Austin Penko with 5. And we start the second half, Cardinals basketball. J.C. Johnson guarded by Panko. Earl Peterson guarded by Monte Harrison. Loses control, but now gets it back. Johnson on the bounce. Chikbagu. Justin Chikbagu. He scored an early bucket, but got in early foul trouble. Quickly on the board here in the second half, and we'll have a chance for a three-point play. Sorry for the technical difficulty there. A turnover, and back to the Cardinals. Diego Tyson to the rim. (32-25). So a couple of quick buckets. And the largest lead of the night now for the Cardinals. Tough catch inside. Harrison still looking for his first bucket. Bailed out by a foul call underneath the basket. That one's going to go against Kevin Thompson, who with a grin holds his hands over his head. So Titans basketball trailing by 7. Lob to Harrison, but he hits it off the rim. Shaquille Harrison didn't quite get up enough and laid it on the iron. And a frustration foul perhaps on the loose ball as Shaquille Harrison, the senior, no points and 2 fouls as the undefeated Titans face a 7-point deficit here early in the second half. Dangerous pass there, but Peterson controls and pushes into the front court. Harrison pokes it away. Shaquille Harrison now into the front court, and he misses. His brother is there for the lay-in to clean it up. So the missed jam for Harrison on the heels of the botched alley-oop. But Monte Harrison in there to lay it back in. And it's 32-27. Cardinals on top. About a minute and a half here into the second half. 5-second call there. Check that, Lee Summit West bench shouting at the official. And finally got that 5-second call. So Titans looking for a little push here after being pushed against the ropes here early on in the second half. Harrison with contact. Rolls off the rim, but another foul. I believe that one will go against Kevin Thompson as well. It does, and Thompson was already headed toward the bench as he has 4. And Harrison, who's 0 for 2 from the line, will have a chance again from the stripe to get his first points of the evening. Got it that time. Thompson's replacement in the Cardinals lineup is Elijah Lamb, who had 4 big points at the end of the second quarter, allowing the Cardinals to regain the lead. No good on the second free throw. Monte Harrison hit the deck, and the official rules that the rebound went off of Chikbagu. So it'll stay at this end of the floor. Brown takes a seat, Gregory checks in, and Austin Panko will trigger the inbound. 2 minutes into the second half, 32-28. Raytown South on top, trying to hand Lee Summit West its first loss of the year. Big bull of a move by Gregory, who then gets kicked in the head on the way down, but he's the one who's going to get called for a foul, and it's an intentional foul at that. Now some discussion with the official. Gregory with position on the low post, barreled in with his left shoulder to create space, but he missed the shot, then hit the deck. It looked like it was Justin Chikbagu who he got mixed up with. And Gregory looked like he took a knee or a foot to the head while he was down, and maybe, as you see Chikbagu limping now, the official obviously saw that Gregory had grabbed the big Cardinal by the foot. And so now with the clock stopped at 5:55 of the third quarter, it's the Cardinals to the free throw line to try and build on a 4-point lead. Again, Chikbagu took an early seat in the first quarter after getting 2 early fouls, but he's had an impact already here in this second half upon getting back on the floor with 5 early points here in the first 2 minutes of the half. He's got 7 for the game. The lead is 6, and the Cardinals with a chance to build on it even further. It was a 7-point lead just a moment ago, the largest of the game for either team. Peterson struggling to get it inbounds, and now a 5-second call. Peterson thought he got a timeout and dumbfoundedly turns back to the official, thinking he had that timeout, but instead it's a turnover. The second 5-second violation of the half, the first one coming on live ball defense, this one coming on the sideline inbounds. Chikbagu, the big fella, picks it up, and that's going to be a double dribble. Diego Tyson talking to the official because he was closing in that passing lane for what he thought was a steal, but he got bumped out of it, and ended up the big fella pushed the ball up the floor and got caught in between dribbles, so turns it back over to the Titans. Gregory at the free throw line. Jackson hit a couple threes in the first half. Now drives. Panko into the paint. Chikbagu with good position defensively altered that pass, and now Diego Tyson is called for a backcourt violation. That was awfully close. He'd gotten into the front court, tried to redirect himself. It looked like the ball he may have dribbled it right on the timeline. The official was right there and whistled him for the turnover. So a little sloppy here on both ends for the last minute and a half or so. Harrison driving. What's the call? Officials look at each other, and that call is going to go against Raytown South. And the fans on the visitor side of the arena do not agree with that, as Harrison came to a jump shot. It looks like the call was a hack, so it wasn't that Chikbagu was not in position. It was that Harrison got hit on the arm as he went up toward the rim. So Shaquille Harrison, who struggled offensively tonight, will have a chance back at the free throw line. He's 1 of 4 from the stripe to account for his only point. His Titans trailing by 6 here, 5:16 to play in the third quarter. Harrison's struggles continue as he misses his 4th free throw of the evening. It's Monte Harrison, Shaquille Harrison, Trevor Gregory, Austin Panko, and Nathan Jackson on the floor for the Titans. Harrison gets the favorable roll that time. McDowell checked back in for the Cardinals. Dangerous full court pass there, trying to get it to Peterson, and it leads to a fairly easy turnover as Harrison was in position to close on that like a defensive back. At the elbow, pressure defense on Ginadin. Now Gregory, baseline guarded by McDowell. Gregory looking for help, nowhere to go. Dangerous pass all the way across the court. Ends up with Monte Harrison. Now Panko, free throw line. Jumper goes down, Trevor Ganadin. First basket of the game. Thomas Ganadin, I apologize. Gets his first basket, and it's 34-31, a three-point lead for Raytown South. Jump shot, no good by Johnson. Offensive board, McDowell. Gregory, good defense, straight up in the air under the basket. Now the officials are going to talk about whether or not that ball should go back to Lee Summit West. It looks like they're going to say it will stay here. So the official under the basket overruled. Good defense under there by Gregory, though, to deny McDowell the easy shot. So Cardinals basketball, 4:17 to play in the third quarter. They lead by 3. What a catch by Tyson, and he knifes through the lane with a left-handed layup. Tyson leading all scorers with 12, 36-31. Cardinals on top as we approach the halfway point of the third quarter. Gregory, baseline. Peterson there to help defensively, now comes back to Panko. Monte Harrison, Shaquille Harrison. Trevor Ganadin over his left shoulder, comes up well short, deflected off the rebound, but back to the Cardinals. Now Tyson, feeling it, will pull up for a jumper. Looked like his leg may have gotten clipped by Gregory, who closed ground on the jumper. Rebound back to the Titans. Harrison looking to push a little. Now Panko driving, leaning, off the glass, can't get the roll. But Austin Panko will have 2 free throws. I believe the foul will go against J.C. Johnson. Four team fouls on the Cardinals. Panko banged in the act of shooting, will have 2 free throws. He is 3 of 4 from the line, 5 points on the evening. That one no good as Brown checks back in for Lee Summit West. Rodney Hill, who contributed well off the bench in the first half, replaces J.C. Johnson. Nathan Jackson now heading back to the scorer's table for Lee Summit West, but he will have to wait for the next whistle as the second free throw by Panko falls off the rim as well. So 3:30 to play in the third quarter, 36-31. Raytown South looking to hand Lee Summit West its first loss of the season. Hill had it temporarily knocked away by Harrison, but he regains control, now has it back after the handoff from McDowell. Hill, tough shot, draws nothing, and Shaquille Harrison looking to push off the rebound. He's tripped kind of incidentally by Elijah Lamb, but as he hit the deck, the official made the call against the senior Lamb, who now has 2 fouls and 5 team fouls on the Cardinals. So Jackson back for Panko, and it's Harrison who now hands it back to Jackson to start the offense. Back to a zone. Go Raytown South's Cardinals. Harrison picked up his dribble. Good move, nice find by Brown as Tom Ganadin has his second bucket of this third quarter, and the lead down to 3 for the Cardinals with 2:45 to play in the third quarter. This is Peterson guarded by Monte Harrison. He's got Hill, Lamb, McDowell, and Tyson on the floor with him. Fall back 3, misses short by Tyson. Hill controls the rebound but can't put it back in, and it's back to the Titans. Jackson now pushing it up the floor. Corner jumper, Ganadin short, tapped up and in by Monte Harrison. In traffic, Monte Harrison has his third bucket of the night. Lead down to 1 as we approach 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. The lead was as much as 7 early here in this half. Down to 1, tough move by Peterson. Earl Peterson with 4 points. That one coming after a little contact in the paint. Cardinals back on top by 3, 38-35 our score. Deep 3 by Jackson. Back iron now rolls around and in. Nathan Jackson, his third 3 of the night. He's got 11, and we're tied at 38. We were tied at 25 just before the break. The Cardinals put some space in between themselves and the Titans, but now back level with under a minute and a half to play in the third quarter. Peterson back in the paint again. Floater no good. Tap no good. Lamb still fighting for it. Brown's got it, and the Titans looking to regain the lead. Harrison now looking to push tempo. Gannon, tough catch and finish. Thomas Gannon. Titans back on top, 40-38. That was a tough look by Harrison to throw it ahead, and Gannon did well to gather it, control, and put it down. And the Titans, undefeated on the season, back on top by a pair with under a minute to play in the quarter. Tyson around his man, to the rim, and he'll go to the free throw line. Tyson has been assertive since the early goings. Foul going against Gannon. First foul on Gannon, fourth on the Titans. Jackson, check that, Tyson, good from the free throw line. Panko back in, Harrison sitting down for the Titans. Lamb to the bench, along with McDowell for Raytown South. We are tied at 40 after the second free throw by Diego Tyson, fifth tie of the night. Harrison tries to sling it in to Dale Brown. But the turnover gives it back to the Cardinals. 36 seconds to play in the third quarter, all tied up at 40 in this matchup between 810varsity.com's #1 ranked Lee Summit West Titans and number 24 Raytown South. Off the drive, the kick, Rodney Hill, three, long, rebounded by Nate Jackson. 20 seconds to play in the quarter. Jackson all the way to the rim, had it blocked by Peterson. What's the call on the deflection? Official under the basket looking for help. One of the officials went down. So while one referee was looking for help on the deflection, the other official was checking the well-being of his fellow official near the Lee Summit West bench, where he apparently went down. So we will have a timeout on the floor as this gets sorted out. It will be Lee Summit West basketball under the Titans basket with 15.8 seconds to play here in the third quarter. So good back and forth action here now, as we expected. So we've got it all sorted out now. All officials accounted for, all on their feet. And Panko slaps the ball from the baseline as the Titans look to regain the lead. Gannon had his hand on it. It was knocked away. Now Panko in no man's land has it knocked away. And now the Titans granted a timeout while the ball was on the floor. Looked like the call could have gone a couple of ways. Could have been a tie-up as Panko had that ball slapped down. But it is Titans basketball with 9.4 seconds to play in the quarter. And it will be a sideline inbound for Lee Summit West when we resume action. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by A&B CarStar. Collision or repair, A&B CarStar has locations throughout the Kansas City metro area. Check us out online for the closest location to you at carstar.com or call the Riverside location for more information, 816-741-6966. A&B CarStar is proud to be the title sponsor of 810varsity.com and sponsor high school sports year-round throughout the metro area. So a reset after the timeout. 9.4 seconds to play in the third quarter. All tied up at 40. Lee Summit West and Raytown South. Titans basketball in the front court. And it's back to Shaquille Harrison. Harrison now, 5 seconds. Hands off to Panko. Drives. Austin Panko loses it. And now a foul with 1 second to play in the third quarter. So Panko, with just a couple seconds left, outside the three-point line, on the drive, found a couple of Cardinals in his way. The foul goes against Peterson. And so Panko goes to the free throw line, where tonight he is 3 for 6. Panko with 6 points now on the evening. Titans back on top by a point with a single second left here in this third quarter. Panko's second free throw rattles around and in, and it's 42-40. Last second heave, Peterson clears the backboard, and so after 3 quarters of play, Lee Summit West 42, Raytown South 40 in this second semifinal here at the Culver's Classic Shootout from Lee Summit High School. Tonight's coverage on A10varsity.com also brought to you by Christian Brothers Roofing. If you're going to trust the roof over your head, you need to trust your roofing company. With Christian Brothers Roofing Company, you get years of experience and integrity. Don't wait until you know there's a problem. Contact us for a complimentary 16-point roof and gutter inspection. Christian Brothers Roofing, 816-453-ROOF or 453roof.com. So again, our score, Lee Summit West 42, Raytown South 40. The Cardinals' lead was as big as 7 early in the third quarter at 32-25, but a good push by the Titans to end the quarter has the undefeated team from Lee Summit West back on top by a pair. Diego Tyson for the Cardinals, leading all scorers with 14. Justin Chigbagu with the big third quarter now has 7. And 5 for Rodney Hill off of the bench. For the Titans, it's Nathan Jackson with 11 to lead the way. Panko with 7. Monte Harrison with 6. Ganadin with 6. Dale Brown with 6 as well. So it'll be Titans basketball as we start the fourth quarter. Lee Summit West on top by 2. Blue Springs South awaiting the winner for the championship of the Culver's Classic. Friday night at 8:30. Lob to Harrison. Can't get it. Monte Harrison, it was a little too tall for him, and he couldn't get it to go. So J.C. Johnson now into the front court for the Cardinals. We've had 5 ties, 5 lead changes. This game has been as tight as lived up to. Corner 3, Diego Tyson. So it was Carl Martin in the first game with 19 to pace Blue Springs South. And now Diego Tyson with 17 and a quick answer from Nathan Jackson, who has 14. So we trade 3-point baskets and we trade leads again. And it's Lee Summit West back on top by 2. J.C. Johnson, Diego Tyson, Earl Peterson. Tough move in the paint there by Gibbs, and now a foul as Peterson had gathered it. Trying to give the 5 on the floor there, I apologize. Tyson, Gibbs, Chigbagu, Peterson, Johnson for Raytown South. And for Lee Summit West, it's Jackson, Brown, Harrison, and Panko. So to the line, Earl Peterson, 4 points, 3 fouls, misses the free throw. 45-43, Titans on top, looking to start the season with their 15th consecutive victory. And Peterson pulls the Cardinals back within a point. 6:45 to play in the fourth quarter. 45-44, Titans with the basketball and the lead. In the corner, Brown. Back to Panko. Flashing in the middle. Shaquille Harrison now baseline. Harrison, contact, finishes. Shaquille Harrison with his first field goal of the night. Off of the good feed and the good drive. Shaquille Harrison with a chance for a 3-point play. Second foul on Tyrone Gibbs. Bonus time the rest of the way for Lee Summit West. Harrison struggles from the free throw line, continue as he misses, and quickly the other way, a nice floating kiss off the glass by Earl Peterson. And it's back down to a 1-point game. 6:15 to play. Harrison with the catch and the quick move. Pumps now to his brother in the corner. Monte Harrison's three, no good. Rebound tapped up. That's going to be a foul on Dale Brown, and it will send it the other way. Third foul on Dale Brown, and one more until it's time for the bonus for the Cardinals as well. So just about 2 minutes into this fourth quarter, 47-46. 7 lead changes, 5 ties tonight. And now a hold, a little cheap call in the backcourt against Austin Panko. And as cheap as it may be, it will take J.C. Johnson to the free throw line for one and the bonus. So Panko trying to guard closely on the inbound. Called for the hold, and here is J.C. Johnson looking for his first points of the night. Tied at 47, Johnson can put the Cardinals back on top with 6:09 to play with his second free throw. But that one rattles out, rebounded by Monte Harrison. Raytown South, the number 4 seed in the tournament. Lee Summit West, the number 1 seed. All tied up, 47-47. Under 6 minutes to play now. Monte Harrison from the high post attacks, and the foul will be called against Tyrone Gibbs, who thought he had all leather. Strong move by Harrison, but Gibbs, the freshman, stood his ground. But he's called for his third foul, and now Monte Harrison to the line to try and untie this one. And he fails to do so on his first attempt. Harrison now 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Ganadin replaces Jackson before that second free throw attempt comes for Harrison. Monte Harrison unties it. 48-47, Lee Summit West on top. 5:50 to play in the fourth quarter. Johnson, Gibbs, Chigbagu, Tyson, and Peterson on the floor for the Cardinals. Johnson guarded by Panko, who has Harrison, Gregory, and Ganadin on the floor for Lee Summit West. 5.5 minutes to play now. 48-47, a 1-point lead for the Titans. Diego Tyson, he's had the hot hand, guarded by Shaquille Harrison. Chigbagu coming out for a screen. Tyson pulls up from the right wing, 3 wide, and rebounded by Panko. Now into the front court, Ganadin to the rim. Thomas Ganadin lays it in. He's got 8. The lead is 3 as we approach 5 minutes to play. Into the front court, and Gibbs can't gather as Johnson tried to push it ahead to the big freshman, but it was just off his fingertips, and the turnover puts it back over to the Titans, who have a 3-point lead with now exactly 5 minutes to play. Panko to Harrison. Austin Panko, top of the circle, thought about a 3, instead to Monte Harrison. A brief double near the corner, but safely out of it. Harrison to a flashing Gregory in the paint. Gregory flips it with the right hand, falls off the rim. There was some contact with the net that might have constituted some consideration of basket interference. Instead, it's ahead quickly the other way. Tyson up, had it blocked against the backboard. But Gregory got a lot of body too, so the foul against Trevor Gregory will be his third, and Diego Tyson will go to the free throw line. So Diego Tyson, who was scoreless in the first quarter, had 8 in the second, 6 more in the third, and he opened the scoring for the Cardinals in this fourth period with a triple. So 17 points all told for the junior Diego Tyson, although he misses his first free throw attempt. Knocks down the second to pull the Cardinals back within 2. 50-48 our score. Harold Roberts in the game for the first time in this second half for Raytown South. 4:20 to play. Lee Summit West 50, Raytown South 48. The winner gets a berth in the championship game here Friday night against Blue Spring South. The loser will face Hickman High School from Columbia for third place. Blue Spring South ranked 7th in the A10varsity.com poll. Lee Summit West 7th, or first rather, put back by Thomas Ganadin, who has 10 points, all coming in this second half. And the lead is up to 4, 52-48, as we now are past the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Johnson triggering the offense. Roberts in the corner gives it back to him. Tyson, the leading scorer, is on the bench for a brief breather, but now heading back to the scorer's table. This is Peterson, pull up three. Knocks it down, Earl Peterson with a deep three. And it's back to one. Harrison wants to answer. He drives to the rim. Shaquille Harrison with a driving lay-in, and it's 54-51. Approaching 3 minutes to play. Peterson pulls up again. That one was about halfway down before the rim knocked it out. So back to the Titans. Peterson was feeling it but didn't get the drop. Shaquille Harrison now wants to drive again. Off the glass and in. Shaquille Harrison with 8 points, 6 coming in this quarter. The lead is up to 5. Now a timeout, Raytown South. 2:49 to play, 56-51 surge here from the Titans. Largely provided by the senior Shaquille Harrison, who's come to life, scoring 6 of his 8 points here in this fourth quarter. Also off of the bench, Thomas Ganadin, 6'5" sophomore in double figures with 10 points. 4 of them coming here in this fourth period. Follow live brackets and watch games online at 810varsity.com, the new home for Kansas City high school sports. If you like 810 Varsity now, buckle your seatbelts as a new redesign is set to launch in a few weeks. Team and league pages, full sport coverage from football to soccer to wrestling. And of course, no one brings more games live online than 810varsity.com. Over 250 broadcasts this school year, live or archive. Watch games online at 810varsity.com. So we're just under 3 minutes to play. Lee Summit West, who trailed by 7 early in the half, has now extended to a 5-point lead of their own. 56-51 our score. Out of the timeout, it'll be Cardinals basketball. Justin Chigbagu, J.C. Johnson, Earl Peterson, Tyrone Gibbs. Check that, it is Kevin Thompson and Diego Tyson on the floor for the Cardinals. It's Panko, Dale Brown, Ganadin, Harrison, and Harrison for Lee Summit West. We haven't seen much of Kevin Thompson due to foul trouble, but he's back in now. He tried to sling a pass into him, did Peterson. It was tipped away, and it will be inbound on the baseline for the Cardinals with 2:35 to play. 56-51. Johnson, the smallest man on the court, will trigger the inbound. On a bounce to Peterson. Guarded by Brown, calling for some motion. Wants a clear out. Trying to break down his man. To the baseline. Peterson, left-handed layup is pretty. Earl Peterson with 8 points this quarter, 12 for the game. The lead is 3 for Lee Summit West, who has the ball and a 56-53 margin in their favor. Some indecision on the court as Ganadin looked to the bench for some direction. Now taking some air out of the ball are the Titans as we approach 2 minutes. Now under 2 minutes to play. 3-point lead for the Titans. It's Shaquille Harrison guarded out near the timeline. And as Peterson contested him, they're going to say that Shaquille Harrison stepped on the timeline. So a backcourt violation, and the turnover gives it back to the Cardinals. 1:56 to play, 56-53. Lee Summit West with the lead. But the turnover gives it back to the Cardinals, who can pull within one or tie with a three-pointer. Into the backcourt, Peterson. It's been his show here in the fourth quarter. He's guarded by Monte Harrison, 1:45 to play. Thompson with the screen. Peterson to Johnson. Harrison hit the deck but recovers and now closes ground on Peterson, who wants some space again. Now he's calling for a screen from Thompson. Left-handed dribble, floating into the paint with the right hand, no good. Rebound, tapped, Chikbagu to save. Throws it into the backcourt, and it ends up in the hands of the Lee Summit West coaching staff, and it'll be Titans basketball. So a tough move by Peterson. Jackson back into the game for the Titans, 1:28 to play. Both teams are in the bonus, and in a one-possession game here with under 90 seconds to play, we'll see how long Ray South waits before trying to give a foul. We'll see if they drew up a trap of some kind for these situations. Panko guarded closely by Johnson, now gets it back. Panko, Johnson, now contact as Johnson hits the deck after reaching in, and J.C. Johnson saddled with his second foul. So it'll be Panko to the free throw line. Austin Panko, the senior, 5 of 8 from the free throw line. He has a total of 7 points, and he will have a chance to make this a 2-possession game. Still a 1-and-1 situation. And the free throw rattles out. Chikbagu on the rebound. Still a 1-possession game, 1:10 to play. Johnson to start the offense. Tyson wants a three. Has the three. Diego Tyson ties it. Exactly a minute to play. Diego Tyson, 21 points. All tied at 56. Harrison holding the ball on his hip. He's got Panko, Brown, Ganadin, and his brother Monte Harrison with him. Clock running at 40 seconds now. It's Johnson, Tyson, Thompson, Chikbagu, and Peterson on the floor for Ray South. 30 seconds now. Panko back to Shaquille Harrison, content to try and milk it for the last shot. We'll see if they let it go all the way down, or if Lee Summit West calls a timeout as we get closer. Johnson now fakes a move, and now a timeout with 14.4 seconds to play. All tied at 56. Lee Summit West and Raytown South. Titans trying to avoid their first loss of the year. Raytown South looking for a signature victory over the team that is ranked atop the A10varsity.com rankings. Earlier tonight in the first semifinal, it was Blue Springs South 55, Columbia Hickman 43. So the Jaguars await the winner here in the championship game Friday night at approximately 8:30. Consolation match will pit Hickman against the team that falls here. We have 14 seconds left, all tied at 56. The hot hand in this fourth quarter has been Shaquille Harrison. He has 8 points. He scored 6 of them driving to the basket here in this fourth period. But there's been good production on the inside by the sophomore Thomas Ganadin as well. We will see if there's any personnel changes as the two teams come to the floor. It's Harrison, Nathan Jackson, Austin Panko, Dale Brown, and Monte Harrison for the Titans. J.C. Johnson, Chikbagu, Peterson, Tyson, and Thompson for Ray South. 14.4 to play. It'll be Monte Harrison to inbound from his own bench into the backcourt. Panko. Shaquille Harrison, 8 seconds. Harrison behind the back. Shaquille Harrison into the paint. Jump stop, ran into his own man, and he got it. Shaquille Harrison points to the crowd after knocking down that off-balance floater with 2.2 seconds. Shaquille Harrison coming alive in this fourth quarter, making a decisive move into the paint. It looked like he ran into his own man and the defender, falling back with his left hand. Got the tough basket and has his team back on top, 58-56, with 2 ticks left on the clock. So now, Cardinals will have to go the length of the floor in just over 2 seconds. They do have one more timeout left should they choose to perhaps try and pass it up near the timeline and then call another timeout and draw up something for the half court. They've been paced by Diego Tyson, the junior, who has 21 points. Earl Peterson, who has scored 8 of his 12 here in this fourth quarter. You got to think the offense will flow through one of those two young men as they get their direction from the huddle right now. 2.2 seconds left. The undefeated Lee Summit West Titans clinging to a 58-56 lead after the acrobatic shot by senior Shaquille Harrison. So the Titans break the huddle, showing that Harrison, on the heels of his big bucket, will guard the inbound. Chigbagu will be able to roam the sideline, or roam the baseline rather, on the inbound, since it is after a made basket. Justin Chigbagu, the senior, will be the trigger man. They break the huddle with Thompson, Tyson, Peterson, and Johnson. Same 5 that were on the floor before. And now it's the Titans who want to burn a timeout and talk about how they'll set up their defense again based on how the Cardinals came out with their personnel grouping. The clock when it reset showed 3.3 seconds left. I do not know if there was a discussion at the scorer's table that additional time should be put on the clock. But before that timeout, it showed 3.3. We'll check on that momentarily. Again, we are at the 37th annual Culver's Classic Shootout from Lee Summit High School. The nightcap here between the top-seeded Titans of Lee Summit West and the number 4 seed Cardinals of Raytown South has lived up to its billing. A couple of top 25 teams here. Titans 14-0 to start the season, looking to extend that winning streak. Winner advancing to play Blue Spring South for the Culver's Shootout title Friday night. Same personnel on the floor. Chigbagu again on the baseline. This time a different setup for the Cardinals. Peterson looking to run long. Johnson running toward the ball. It's J.C. Johnson who gets into the front court, lobs it up from half court, off the backboard, and it's over. So the half-court heave falls harmless off the backboard, and Lee Summit West escapes. The Titans remain undefeated, 58-56, a hard-fought victory over the Raytown South Cardinals. It was Shaquille Harrison's floater in the final seconds, and as a result, the Titans will move on to play the Jaguars of Blue Spring South in a game that will pit number 1 versus number 7 in the A10Varsity.com rankings. You can catch that game here on A10Varsity.com, as well as the consolation game, third place, where we'll see this very talented Raytown South team take on Columbia Hickman. Again, our final from the Culver Shootout in semifinal number 2, Lee Summit West 58, Raytown South 56. Steve Eisenberg saying good night from Lee Summit High School on A10Varsity.com.